Warning: you might find the content herein disturbing, but the truth must be revealed.
Born in India in the 18th century, Param Sant Tulsi Sahib showed very early interest in spiritual life. Rather than accept a position of royalty in his family, he departed from home in pursuit of meditation practice and became fully realized soon after. In poetry and other writings, Param Sant Tulsi Sahib described the brilliance and penetrating wisdom of the inner life. At the same time, he emphasized that a living master is necessary to access this direct connection with the kingdom of God. In an expression of gratitude to his own master, Tulsi Sahib said, "O Tulsi, the kind and merciful master has blessed me and made my life blossom. He has given me a new life." In writing about spiritual upliftment, Param Sant Tulsi Sahib recounted his own experience of the inner heavenly light and sound. Moreover, he said that all saints' teachings shared the same path to the divine within, along with instructions on how to attain it. Param Sant Tulsi Sahib thus declared that the teachings he conveyed were in unity with those of Kabir Sahib Ji, Guru Nanak Dev Ji, Dadu Dayal Ji, and other saints. We will now share with you selections of mystic verses of Tulsi Sahib, vegetarian, saint of Hathras. It is a rare privilege to be endowed with the human form, is emphasized by Param Sant Tulsi Sahib. Deliverance from the cycle of birth and death can only be obtained by a soul in human form. Human form. Rare is the human form even for gods. Thus declare all sages from the housetops. Declare all sages from the housetops. Even gods will not obtain the human form. For such a heaven do the foolish aspire, whence gods get thrown into hell when earned merit ends. Lured into the performance of pious deeds, people have still to wander from species to species. He who has perceived the essence within his body and mind looks down with contempt. O Tulsi, on the pleasures of paradise, rare indeed is the human form, even for the gods. Thus declare all sages from the housetops. In the following two poems, Tulsi Sahib strongly denounces meat eating. He explains that one who kills a living being or eats its flesh will have to suffer the tortures of hell and continue in the cycle of birth and death under the law of karma. Eat no flesh. Listen to me, Palakram, my esteemed friend. They verily fall into the dungeon of hell, who slaughter living beings and eat their flesh. Who kills a goat suffers the consequences. They do this to seek the pleasure of the palate and cause life from the living to be extinguished. For the sake of sensual gratification, they buy sin and get their abode in the fires of hell. Never will they get released from this bondage, be they hermits, recluses, householders, or others. None will escape the tortures of hell. Whoever has eaten flesh and fish in this life is bound in captivity by the butcher, calf, or the negative power. Nothing good will come out of such conduct. Take this as evidence from the writings of saints. Nanak and Kabir have given the same message. Dadu and Darya have sung the same song. Look at the folly of man, for which he suffers much pain. He kills a living being, he deprives it of its right to live. He cuts a goat and offers it to appease the goddess. The ignorant fool knows not the wages of his sin. Others' offspring he kills and feels no compassion. How shall he be well, suffering anguish life after life? He eats the flesh of beasts. He puts them to an untimely death. Such a man will take on the form of a ghost life after life. Tulsi declares from the housetops, kill not the living. Within all resides the beloved Lord. Listen, O men and women. The cycle of human actions is unending. The only way to break through this vicious cycle is to seek the guidance of a master and obtain deliverance. Cycle of karmas. The mental makeup of a man emanates from his karmas. He remains involved in performing actions, good and bad. According to the nature of the actions he performs, he is put into the bondage of various species. In accordance with the trade that a merchant practices, he carries loss and profit, pain and pleasure along with him. He who conducts his trade under the sway of desires drifts with the currents of the ocean of 84. He moves from species to species according to his actions. This snare is manifestly spread in the entire creation. He is born, he dies, and again he takes a new frame. As he sows, so does he reap the fruit of his actions. In the cycle of 84, he remains in slumber, and in the human form, only a rare one awakens. Through a master's teachings, he realizes God, just as collyrium or healing herb placed in his eyes restores his vision. Without a master's teachings to guide them, even gods, men and sages do not get release. When Brahma, Vishnu and Mahesh get not deliverance, what can we say about ordinary creatures? O thou ever-wandering mind, thou bumblebee, break the shackles of thy body. For age after age thou hast been dyed in the fast colors of this world. Even as the juggler makes a puppet dance with the strings in his hands, so does the karma juggler make our mind dance to his tune. It wanders for eons and eons in the bondage of the body. In pursuit of sense pleasures, it roams, as does a kite without a string. The ruthless and tyrannical Kal, or the negative power, without the mercy of the master, is subdued not, so formidable is his power. For countless lives, the mind has been under the sway of passions. From moment to moment, it has been a captive of the wave of cravings. The pursuit of desire makes one take abode in the body. The endless chain of karmas throws him into the cycle of birth and death. O Tulsi, in the company of thy master, become a swan, and in the crystal water of Mansarovar, attain salvation. Tulsi Sahib goes on to enumerate the gifts that the master bestows on the disciple. Not only does the master guide the disciple in daily conduct, he or she also offers inestimable help on the spiritual journey within. The master's philanthropy. O think thou deeply and deliberate. Without the guidance of a master, the way cannot ever be found. He will guide thee in satsang's color. Take thy soul to regions celestial and reveal the firmament within. If thou desirest to revel in realms spiritual within thine own self, none will help thee except the saints. In a short moment wilt thou depart, and thy body be reduced to dust. Thy master alone, O Tulsi, will show the entrance back to thy home. Without the help of a spiritual guide, we cannot escape earthly ignorance. The mysteries of the universe can be revealed only through a living master. Role of the master. Man continues to stumble in ignorance and thus goes on suffering from the shaft of pain. He is bereft of the company of the holy, who but the saint can put him on the path. If he were to meet the benevolent Sadguru, the primordial mystery would be unraveled. Indeed, O Tulsi, the master would wipe up the stores of karma and drive the angel of death away. Delightful viewers, thank you for joining us on today's Words of Wisdom.